Oh, hello Internet, it's your old beard buddy Jed Whittaker here, and as you can see I'm on the PlayStation Vita, or in this case the PSTV Vita TV for those of you overseas. And as you can see here, you might notice something a little weird. Oh look, it's a bunch of emulators. So the Vita is now completely hacked, though there is no piracy. Though one could argue that emulators are piracy, yada yada, splitting hairs. You totally bought all those games you downloaded from the internet, right? Wink, wink, wink. Anyways, it's pretty simple. It works in the latest firmware, and it works for both Vita and PSTV. All you have to do is open a web browser. I already have one pulled up here. And you just have to go to go.henkaku.xyz. It will pop up and it will say welcome. You can hit OK. Now, if you get any errors or anything, you'll want to restart the system and try it again. It might take it a couple of tries, but see, I'm getting an error there because I already have it installed most likely. And now I can't close it. Fuck me. Oh, there we go. So, it's already installed. Basically what happens is a little window comes up with some text on it, and it says it's installing, and then it will boot you back. It will close the web browser and boot you back here, and you'll have this program called Molecular Shell. Which, as you can see there on the left there was a little install button that you can use to reinstall the hack whenever, and you don't have to type anything in or remember anything. Because every time you restart your system, it's going to remove the hack. So what this is you got app, which is basically this app that's running. URO, which I don't know if that's the memory or the actual like shell, but UXO is your memory card. So you can come see here, and there's different folders and whatnot. I made a folder called Homebrew, which is where you can FTP in different homebrews that you have. You can see my list there, and it's pretty simple to send stuff in. If you know how to use a FTP server, you can hit select or share if you're using it on the PSTV, and it automatically turns on an FTP server, and then you can just go from your computer, send it over. You don't have to do anything with your memory cards or anything, and you can install stuff. So right now, quickly show you what is out. You got a port of Quake, which it runs okay. It has a little sound issue, and the frame rate's not great. You got a couple of different Genesis emulators. One works better than the other. If you get the RetroArch version, it works far better than the one that's listed on the official page for Henkaku. You also have a Neo Geo Pocket emulator, which I don't understand why it's always one of the first things to emulate. It's either really easy to emulate or somebody loves it, but it only has like a few games, so who loves it? I don't know. Numpty Physics, which is like a homebrew game. It's like one of those games where you have to draw on the screen. I don't know how well it works on PSTV because I've not tried it. Super Nintendo emulator, Sega Master System, Game Boy. You also got the Game Boy Advance, which can do Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance as well. Vita Doom, which is very early stages. It basically just runs Doom, no sound, and it runs it in a small window. And then these other things are kind of interesting. Whitelist will whitelist almost all, not necessarily all of them, apps for the PSTV. So if you've ever used PSTV, some games are not supported. And even though they could be, because you know they don't use any touchscreen features or anything that you would absolutely need on the PSTV or on the Vita to play said game. So what this does is it goes in and it makes the list of games that you are allowed to play on PSTV, and it basically makes it almost all of them. There's a few tweaks that they need to make to get all of them, but it works with a lot of games, including Uncharted, the Ratchet and Clank collection, and others. I personally tested it on, where is it? I have a Vita only folder. I tested it on Danganronpa, and it worked fine. Anyways, then there's this, which is a little bit harder to install, is VHBL, which is basically the homebrew channel that runs on the PSP emulator that's built into this. So right now I don't know that I have anything installed in this, we'll see, but to install this, long story short, you have to transfer a game. Yeah, I don't have any homebrew installed, but you have to transfer a game from the Vita to your computer. put a file into said folder where it goes, then transfer it back over from the Vita. I don't know. I'll link a tutorial in the description. It sounds complicated, but really it's just you transfer it with a couple of files, and then it makes this, and you can do it. So all the PSP homebrew that's been out for years and years and years, and emulators and whatnot, many of them which work just fine when you run them this way, such as like NES emulators and things that aren't necessarily out since this hack is brand new, you can do. So yeah, that is the Vita, the Vita hack of ye old Henkaku. It's pretty cool. Doesn't enable piracy, though I'm sure it will come, and it doesn't enable you to run like pirated ISOs or anything for PSP. Huzzah! So there you go. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm licking a peace sign 'cause I love peace.